like to really reiterate that India is a strategic country for Airbus. Not only because of the huge market or the market share we are having, but it's also important for us because of the access to skills and resources we have in the country. So that's why what we want to do is really build on the success we have had on the market side, to really do the cooperation and have a win-win partnership. So Airbus commitment to India is the following, that we are actually supporting the development of the aviation as well as the aerospace ecosystem in the country. It's the aviation and aerospace ecosystem in the country, and that's what I will actually outline in the cooperation strategy we have been following for the last 10 years, and then what we are planning to do going into the future. So our history with India goes back 40 years ago, with the delivery of the first A300 aircraft to Indian Airlines at the time. And really from then on, our future in India has been very bright. And India is the second country from Asia to have actually entrusted on Airbus on our development and have ordered an Airbus aircraft as well. So coming back to the Airbus strategy in India, our strategy is based on 4 pillars. And this is what we have been working on for the last 10 years, developing each one of these pillars as well. So the first one, engineering. The second one is customer services. We've heard a lot about it yesterday from Mr. Chobe, the Secretary of Civil Aviation. This is a real growth area for us. The third pillar is aerospace supplier partnerships. That's very much of a focus we've been doing last 10 years, and we are looking at that to grow in that area in the future. And last but not least is R&T and innovation, an area we have been focusing in the last 5 years. So among all this strategy, what is at the heart of the strategy? For us, at the heart of the strategy is Make in India and also Skill India. That's what is really driving our strategy. We have been doing it for the last 10 years, and we are contributing to the Prime Minister's vision of Make in India as well. So what I will do in the next 15 minutes or so is to go through each one of these pillars to explain what we do today and what our plans are for the future. So on the engineering, clearly, we set up an engineering center in 2007. The reason for it is that when a team from Airbus came to India, we looked at saying, okay, India produces a lot of engineers, so what is good in it? People, the engineers who come out of the institutes are very good in mathematics and physics, and they are able to manipulate the IT environment as well. So we thought, okay, let's look at areas where we can actually use these skills. So we set up our engineering center to work on high-end engineering activities. But we also work with partners, such as CADIS and Quest, on having engineering centers as well. So I'll explain that in the coming slides. So if you look at our own center, the Airbus Engineering Center in Bangalore, we have approximately about 400 people who are working there. They are working in different areas, high-end areas like the avionics, loads, mass properties, structures, but these are the critical factors which are important for the high-performance aircraft such as the A380s and the A350s and the NEOs as well. And last year, apart from working for Airbus, from the engineering center, we also started working for Airbus helicopters in the new helicopter programs as well. So from the engineering center, moving into the future, we will probably be working for all the sister companies under the Airbus group, and then this will contribute to the development of various programs. And that's a unique capability which we will have within our engineering center. Moving on, with our suppliers, Access CADIS as well as Quest, we have set up dedicated design centers, and between the two suppliers, we have more than 600 people, and we have this partnership for nearly 5 years now, and we are looking at extending that, moving into the future, hopefully growing that as well. So on engineering, across the supply chain, we do work with many companies, and more than about 2,000 people work across the supply chain for Airbus in engineering. So moving on to the next pillar, which is the customer services, we are focusing on 2 areas within customer services. That is the total support program or tailored support program we provide to the customers, as well as on the training as well. So if I jump into tailored support program, what does that actually mean? So we really help our customers so that they can focus on their core business of flying, and we can completely take care of the maintenance of the aircraft with the customers. So we help them in the fleet technical planning, we help them in the line maintenance, in the heavy maintenance as well, in the parts as well, in a parts supply. So completely end-to-end, we are able to provide that service, and we have done that for Vistara, and in 2015, they were able to achieve 100% operational reliability as well, for this program. And this is something which we do with our partner companies in order to provide this capability. Looking at the training side, on training, there are two aspects to training. One is the maintenance training, and of course the pilot training. So we have a maintenance training facility in Bangalore. We have the state-of-the-art classrooms, and from there we really train maintenance engineers for airlines, not only in India, but also for airlines outside of India as well, Southeast Asia, Northeast Asia. We even send our trainers as far as Mexico to do the training. So the training facility in Bangalore has actually become the center of competence for A320 or the A320 aircraft, and we even develop all the documentations necessary for it. But moving on the Airbus pilot training, what we do is we have a facility now in Delhi where we do all the ground training related to the pilot training, that is the classroom training, as well as the 2D simulator. We call that as the Airbus process trainer. And beyond that, we work with our partner companies, FSTC and Interglobe, really to provide the full flight training. Moving into the future, definitely we are looking at how we can set up our own pilot training center in India too. So moving on, I think before that, I think we have actually trained 2,700 plus engineers to support our customers in India and around the region as well. So that's a significant part we have done over the last 10 years. Moving to the third pillar, aerospace supplier partnership. I mean, this is an area, we started 25 years ago, actually 26. Last year, we celebrated the 25th year of cooperation with HAL. And over the last 10 years, with the setup of the sourcing office in India, we have steadily grown in this area. So what is the strategy behind this pillar? It's very simple. Airbus, if you look at it, we are mainly an integrator. 80% of what we sell, we buy, in the sense that whatever goes into an aircraft, 80% of it is done by our supply chain. So we have globally strategic partners, and some of these strategic partners, either they work with Indian companies or have their own unit in India for us, and that means that India has really matured in terms of the market. Just to summarize on the key takeaways for you, Make in India is at the heart of our Airbus India strategy. You've heard that on an average, one Airbus aircraft per week will be delivered to India over the next 10 years. Every Airbus aircraft which is coming out of the assembly line is partly made in India, and I'm proud to say that because we have been working on that for nearly 10 years, and we achieved that status a couple of years ago. And we have created more than 6,000 jobs. I mentioned about 2,000 in engineering and manufacturing and technical publications, another 4,000. So over 6,000 jobs directly or indirectly with Indian companies. And as we promised with to the Indian Prime Minister, our cumulative sourcing volume over the next 5 years will be $2 billion. We have already reached 500 million. So I'm quite confident we will be actually overshooting that target as well.